evening, everyone. Yesterday, I started a kind of a mini video series about whether or not it is fear that stops people from getting involved with online marketing or online businesses. And, I discussed a little bit about, some of the fears that people have. And I'm not saying that they're not legitimate fears. Everybody fears about, especially in today's economic times, that we have fears about our future. We wonder whether or not our job is safe, whether I'm going to be laid off tomorrow, is the company going to go under, and if any of those things happen, how am I going to pay my bills? And even more depressing is that you may feel that your dreams for a better life have been pretty much thrown in the dirt. And I'm here to tell you that regardless of the economic climate, there are still plenty of opportunities out there for you. All you need to do is reach out and grab them. Even losing your job, as scary as that is, could open up new doors and better possibilities for you. And that's kind of what I want to lead up to talking to you about. But, fear is such a big factor. It was a huge factor for me. Do I take that chance? What if I lose, everything that I've put into it? I'm 3 months strong in this business and I'm still growing. So it has alleviated some of those fears. But not all the fear goes away, because you still are always going to have that. It's like that little devil sitting on your shoulder, that nagging little thing. What if it still goes under? What if it still goes under? What if it's, you got to get past that. And you still continue to worry. No matter what, you still continue to worry. And it could be your fears and not the recession that is really stopping you from pursuing your dreams. But your mind is telling you that because of the recession, that's your excuse as to why not to start. And, you've got your fears that kind of paralyze you into your passive action. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, your fear of lack of support, fear of change. Everybody, there's always that fear of changing things in your life. Fear of your worst case scenario. Like I said, what if it doesn't work out? And through the process of this series, I will try to continue to explain how to overcome some of these fears. And then, like I had said yesterday, a lot of people are afraid of success. Why you'd be afraid to be successful? That's Simba, by the way. He's my happy birthday kitty today. Lay down. Lay down. But I'm here to tell you some good news. That despite all those fears, you can take those fears and make them into an unstoppable positive force. Like I said, I want to continue to kind of examine the different types of fears and exactly what you can do about it, and try to give some action steps to help you overcome the fears so that you can start living a life that you've always dreamed of. Now, a quote from Carl Augustus Nuninger, Fears are educated into us and can, if we wish, to be educated out. Which means any fear that we have now, it's kind of like a learned fear, or we were taught to be afraid. But it is possible to teach yourself to be unafraid. And so many different things that I've read over. There's always an analogy about when you think about children, as when they start kind of getting out of that infant stage and they're moving into that crawling, and then all of a sudden they're standing, and then they're walking, and then they're a holy terror because they're running everywhere. But a child, if you watch them, when they're trying to succeed to do things on their own, if it doesn't work out the first time, do you see a child stop? Or do they get back up and try to do it again and again and again until they learn it? They're not afraid to keep trying. They keep doing it until they succeed. And that's kind of how I see this, looking at the whole fear thing. Looking at it behind the eyes of a child. Try something and keep working at it until you succeed, until you are 100% certain that you are a success at that one thing. You don't have to be afraid. Don't let fear overtake you. So, now the question is, are your fears real? A wise man once said that fear means false evidence appearing real. In fact, a vast majority of our fears will never come to pass. Experts have estimated that 90% of our fears are about things that will never, ever happen. Sorry, the animals always decide to take over at video time. But, if you think about it, getting on an airplane, there are a lot of people who are afraid to fly. Now, the news and reality has given us numerous reasons to be afraid to fly. However, I can almost bet that 90% and probably higher than 90% of all flights in the air around this world do not crash. So, is your fear legitimate? That because you heard about that plane yesterday crashing, and with I don't even know how many thousands of flights today, does that mean the flight that you might be on today is going to crash because one plane out of, we'll give it a number, out of 20,000 flights, one plane out of 20,000 crashed. So those are the kind of things, 90% of our fears are never, ever gonna happen. And, so kind of put that into a perspective, that are we worrying about something that we really shouldn't be wasting our time on worrying about? And there's a large portion of our lives that we do spend and waste on worrying. All that time and energy that we spend worrying about things that we know we can't do anything about. You have no control over anything or anyone but what you do and who you are. That's the only thing you have control over. You can't control anything else. So, you know, by being afraid of things you have no control over, that's an extreme waste of time that gets us nowhere. And the industry right now, the job I work in, I actually have a job outside the house. But the job that I work in, I know there's a large portion of that job I have no control over. And so many people ask me how I could work where I do. And for me, it's, am I afraid? I'm afraid every day when I go to work. Do I let it run my life and run my day? No, because there's nothing I can do about any of the chain of events that may happen in an 8-hour period. So I guess that's kind of how I learned to overcome the whole fear thing. Yes, my fear is legitimate, but I can't do anything to change the circumstances, so I can't let fear overtake me and rule my life. So, like I said, taking you back to the question, are your fears real? Yes. But your fear may be something that isn't real. But the fear itself is real and extremely powerful. And your fear can take the wind out of your sails and do that faster than any challenge. And fear can stop you in your tracks. Fear can suck away all your confidence and destroy your hopes and dreams. But fear can be harnessed and transformed into the strongest motivator ever. If you lost your job tomorrow, are you going to sit and wallow in your, oh, woe is me? If you have a spouse and 3 children to take care of, find other options. Don't rely specifically on one option. I have learned always have a backup plan. Now, like I said, I'm trying to keep this a short series, try to keep it going, trying to keep them short. Evidently today I got long-winded, but just each one, it gives you something to think about. And I will always, 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 at the bottom of these videos, have a link to connect with me on Facebook. If you want to discuss the videos, if you want to talk about online marketing or online businesses, I'd be more than happy to discuss them with you. Any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer. So please take advantage of that if you have any questions, and I will see you tomorrow with part 3 of my series. Take care and good night.